This.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know who it is. It's your boy Rico, back at it again with my guy Kev, the man. We got the new mics, so the new mic is gonna be able to pick us both up. So for those that are tuning in for the first time, this is the Buffalo Fanatics. Welcome. It's Super Bowl weekend. Super Bowl weekend. 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. You got two schools of thought, or two schools. You got offensive firepower through the air and a bit of a nice run game. And then you got on the 49ers side, defense. Heavy front seven, a nice front seven. Not superstars, but all good players.
There's a lot of superstars.
You would you call them superstars?
Well, I would say DeForest Buckner is a superstar.
He's a nice
defensive tackle.
Bosa can run.
Bosa's really good. Ford's really good. They have a lot of depth with.
They got D Ford. You're right. Armstead.
Yeah,
you're right.
Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas is a G2. The only ones I don't know too well are their linebacking. The linebacking crew.
The young guy, the rookie there that is doing real well.
She's on your case.
Yeah, no,
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't stay too long. We just wanted to chat and touch on some topics. One being good afternoon, good evening. It's been a minute. So I got to give a shout out to the Game Touch TV. I see you. Bada Bing Crosby's here. Scott Devereaux, I see you, bro. Jeff King. You guys got to realize that we are rocking our Lakers jerseys. Y'all already know what it is. Lakers fans to the core. You know it. And obviously some sad events that took place within the last 7 days. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I was a hot mess. Kev? Hot mess?
It was rough. It was real rough. It was surprising. Well, we're diehard Lakers fans, but it was very surprising that someone we'd never met could leave such a hollow feeling in us.
Dude.
Yeah, it was rough.
Dude, you grew up watching this at 17 years of age playing ball. You see the growth.
20 seasons.
Dude, man, you see the championships. I haven't felt that with the Bills, and you know what I mean? He gives us. Oh, come on, man. You can't. And plus, Kev doesn't have any children just yet, but I do, and I have all girls, man. So it hit me like double time. You know what I'm saying? A team that I love, a player, my favorite player. On top of that, him and Sean Kemp, those are my guys. And then this happens. Yo, I was a hot mess. If people were calling me, I was like, nah, not happening, man. I was tearing up all day, man. But I don't give a damn. You got to tear up for your guy. So good evening to everybody else that's out there. So there's several topics that we want to touch on. And one being, I'm going to get right into it. Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
Stephon Gilmore gets Defensive Player of the Year. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, Trey White had just as good a year and not a peep. Not a peep. Talk to me.
Okay, so in New England's system, it is complete man coverage, right? The Lions, and the Dolphins play more man coverage because it's all the same scheme than any scheme in the league. And New England had a historically good defense this year, and he was the focal point of their defense. So he follows and travels and goes around from man-to-man coverage and takes the main guys. He had a couple of brutal games at the end, most notably to Devontae Parker, the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
But
got exposed.
Yeah. And White had a great year too. White, he had a very good year. He's deserving of his All-Pro, that sort of thing. But he doesn't necessarily travel. He doesn't necessarily follow.
So he's the Richard Sherman.
You guys play. Richard Sherman in Seattle was so good. If that's what you're getting for the next 5 years with Trey White, you can't complain.
You can't complain. You got to take it.
Complain about it all pro. I don't particularly like Gilmore, but just because he seems like an asshole. But, he had a really good year. Focal point for the number one defense. I don't know.
Well, does he deserve Player of the Year? Defensive Player of the Year?
It's tough. Who were the other good candidates? TJ Watt had a really, really good year.
To me, he was the best candidate to get it.
I'm not upset about it. I know, Bills fan. I keep reading about John Brown. Yeah, you got, and John Brown ended up that game with one catch. You know what I mean? He did get beat. Yeah, he got
no doubt.
But it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? no player is immune to getting beat, especially when you're on man coverage, like the majority of the snaps. But the rest of the year, like he was pretty lights out for them.
So if you're a Bills fan,
Mm-hmm.
who are you rooting for? Chiefs or 49ers? And there's a reason I'm asking this question.
It's weird because the 49ers are old school football.
Mm-hmm.
It's running game,
Yep.
defense, and the Chiefs are speed, Mahomes,
Yep.
the new era of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any affinity to either team. I like watching Mahomes play.
Okay.
But I equally like watching the 49ers trot out like running back after running back, and somehow they look like superstars.
They do.
What I mean? Like, so it's the scheme that they use with the blocking and that sort of stuff that they've got running. It's interesting for me to see. I kind of like it. I like how they have a fullback. I like how they have this tight end, you know?
Yep.
It's interesting because everything in football is cyclical, right? So for the last few years, these spread offenses have been hitting the field, and defense have been responding more and more with smaller, faster guys.
And that's what keeps I think that's what's going to make the difference. By the way, Scott Van Loo just gave a huge donation. Do you mind ringing that bell for me, my man? Bang it. Oh, look at this guy. Really aggressive on that bell. My man, Scott Van Loo. Rico, what do you think of the Bills need to give us what do you think the Bills need to give us over the hump next year's push farther into the playoffs? What do you think we need to do in the draft or maybe free agency? Before I get into the free, actually, no, I'm going to answer your question right now. It's big for me, the pass rush. I know we have some I know we have some guys on the roster that are paid to get after the quarterback, but they're good. They're good pass rushers. That's fine. That's cute. We don't want good. We want relentless. We want elite pass rush ability, and I don't feel we have that in the guys that we have in Trent Murphy and Jerry Hughes. So we need someone that is going to get after the quarterback. Now, where we pick, is there depth for that? We could at 22. We could probably get a pass rush. Some people want to say go after a receiver. This receiving group is deep.
Yeah,
I don't think we necessarily need to grab one in the first round. So shout out to Scott Van Loo for that question. But like pass rush for me is what we need, and then we follow that up with a receiver. But we need to affect the trenches because we already have our cornerbacks in place. And I think we're fine. And I'm going to double down on that because the reason I asked you about the 49ers or Chiefs is because if you root for the 49ers against the Chiefs, you'd understand it because people they feel some type of way because we could have or should have had Pat Mahomes, but instead we got Trey White. And some people are like, man, I would have went with a Pat Mahomes over Trey White any day, which is completely understandable. But we have an all-pro corner. You know how hard those are to come by? An all-pro corner. How do you feel about that?
Well, come on. Okay, we'll be realistic. Okay, there's no scenario where you'd rather have White and Edmonds over Mahomes only because Mahomes is a quarterback,
right?
However, the Bills are the only team that could have had Pat Mahomes. Where did he get picked? Like 11th or 12th?
10th.
10th. There's 9 other teams that fucked up. You know what I mean? And it worked out well. If you were going to miss on that guy, that was the best possible outcome. You got an all-pro corner,
right? And
you got Edmonds too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Edmonds. He's looking like he's on a perennial Pro Bowl arc.
And we picked Zay Jones out of that. Not that it matters, but like we got Zay Jones out of it.
But still, yeah, you know what I mean? Like the Bills fans got to let that go because, like I said, there's 9 other teams that could have picked Mahomes. You think if someone's sad, it should be the Bears. They took Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, they moved up. I mean?
They took a quarterback and then took Trubisky and let Watson and Mahomes go after.
And I'm with you. And to me,
you guys got to let it go. Like,
thank you.
You got 2 good players.
Thank you.
Hindsight's 50-50.
My man.
I could say the same thing. Oh, Miami should have drafted him. Like, no one knew Mahomes was going to be that good. Like, people thought he had excellent tools, but no one knew he's going to be 50 touchdowns in year 2.
No question about it.
Like, league MVP kind of good.
No question.
You guys got to let that one go.
So, a lot of Bills fans feel that we definitely need to go after a receiver in the first round. There are some great receivers, T. Higgins being one of them.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs, I'm actually starting to get really intrigued with Henry Ruggs.
let that one go.
Let that one go?
He's not going to Henry Ruggs is not going to make it to, where are you guys, 26?
22nd?
22nd. He's not going to make it to 22.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh wow,
He's gonna
okay.
go to the combine. He's gonna run like a 4.28.
Dude, he's fast, man.
He's like exceptionally fast.
Golly,
but
man.
The other thing too is I understand, like, and I think he's gonna be a good player, but you guys need
Chanel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me make my case for Chanel.
He's a really good player. Anyway, what I'm saying
Yes.
though is Henry Ruggs' skill set is very similar to a John Brown, although Henry Ruggs is much more physical. But it's, you know, it would be nice for your team to get. It's like, I listen to like Daniel Jeremiah and these guys, right? And they talk about like having a receiver team that's like a basketball team, right? You've got your speed guy, you got your power forward, you got, you know, the big guys that post up. The Bills seem to be lacking that big guy, that alpha number one guy who's going to be able to come down, contested catches, balls in the red zone, that sort of thing.
So that being said, who would you peg would be a good fit for the Bills?
Well, if I were the Bills, depending upon how the draft board fell, I wouldn't take a receiver. I'd take a defensive end.
Okay.
Because this is a really good year for receivers.
For sure.
I mean, you could take a guy like Colin Johnson in the 3rd round or 4th round of Texas, and I think he's going to be a really good player. Like,
wow, you'd wait till the 3rd and 4th round to grab a receiver.
I'm not saying you should wait till that long, but I'm saying,
but he could. Yeah,
there's going to be guys that are going to get pushed down to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. You can get guys. I think that this year you'll get receivers in the 4th round that are going to be really good players simply because the depth is going to push them all down. If I had to take a wide receiver for you guys,
right,
I probably would prefer. It's really
tough one.
It's tough. It's between Higgins and Chenault of who's going to be available. But I would take a defensive end, and then I would come back and grab, like,
we have 9 picks, so it's totally doable that we can come away with 2 picks. And I like Chenault, and I'll tell you why I like Chenault, and I like Higgins as well. Don't get me wrong, but Chenault stands out to me because he does it all, and he's a do it all type of back. Put him in the backfield as a running back, put him in the slot, put him at the wide, and he's got some wheels. I'm not saying he's blazing fast, but he could run. And that's the type of receiver Buffalo needs, especially with Dable being the guy that can use one person to have mismatches all over the place. Why not have a guy like Chenault in there? And boy, that boy is a beast, man. But a guy like T. Higgins, though, go up and get it muscle yourself.
Laviska Shenault is fast. He's big. He draws a lot of Samuel Watkins comparisons.
Oh, does he?
He does, yeah. Physically. He's in my opinion, an underdeveloped route runner. He's not very nuanced. They use him a lot as they used him a lot as like an H back. I can't remember the name of the other guy. There's another Colorado receiver, but he was like Victor, I think his name. He was actually their deep threat. When they throw downfield, it was more to them. A lot of bubble screens. What I think Chenault is going to be a good player, but what worries me is he a Cordero Patterson?
Oh, that's like a do-it-all, but never a role for that person.
He's you can use him as a running back. You can use him as a kick returner. You can use him in the screen game. You can use him as that, but is he elite in any of them? He's got elite athletic ability. I'm not sure. Whereas Higgins is a more polished, like traditional wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's your jump ball guy. He's your 50-50 guy. He still has decent run after the catch ability. If you saw the run in the national championship game. I like both of them. But if I'm you guys, I'm hoping that Kelvon Chason. I'm hoping that
Michael Pittman.
No, I'm talking about defensive end.
Oh, okay.
Yatir Gross-Matos. I'm hoping these guys are sticking around for you guys. Grab your edge because there's less depth there. And in the 2nd round, if you get Michael Pittman at a USC, or you get like one of those guys, Donovan Peoples-Jones, like there's just a ton of really good wide receivers. What's his name? Tyler Johnson from Minnesota. Like
you mentioned Tyler Johnson. I now have to check him out because I don't know too much about these receivers that are coming out right now. I got to do my homework.
Justin Jefferson is a good one, actually. I see his name popped up.
Who's this Van Jefferson? Van Jefferson?
That's the guy from Florida. He's the guy that was really good at the Senior Bowl. So he's the route running, the technician guy, but he's got some speed too.
Okay.
I like that guy too. He's like there's just so many good wideouts. That's why I'm saying if one of the better pass rushers falls to you in the 1st round, you take him because there's so many good wide receivers.
Yetur Motos, I heard you mention that.
Gross-Matos, from Penn State.
He's nice.
He's really good physically.
Yeah,
he's played really well for Penn State. I want to see his. I
He's not.
want to see him at the combine. I want to see how he moves. I want to see how he.
He's not a Golston, is he?
No, he's not. Like, you mean Vernon Golston?
Yeah, Vernon, like the bus Vernon Golston. I better not be like that. So that being said, I don't want it to be just about the Bills because I know you're pressed for time. So I do want to talk about this Hall of Fame. Okay,
I'm good, by the way.
Oh, you good?
Yeah,
you sure?
I got the clearance. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The clearance as in I'm going home. Like
no, she's going out for a drink.
Okay. So we're good. My man, did you text? I didn't even see you do that.
Yeah, no, I got the response.
Yo, you're slick. You're slick, Rick. I was trying to make this seamless for my man because he has to do. He's got some things to take care of, but I think he's good, so we're good to go. So we can talk about this Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame to you,
yeah,
to us, right?
So
By the way,
this is the Deion Sanders.
This is the Deion Sanders. Yeah. So we'll preface by saying that. So Deion Sanders came in, was like, okay, I'm getting sick of this crap because right now this Hall of Fame, this elite crowd that's supposed to be the best of the best, is just getting watered down, and it's not as what's the word I'm looking for? Exclusive a club, elite, right? Yeah, for the elite. The fraternity is getting worn. It's getting watered down.
It's not supposed to be the Hall of Pro Bowl. It's supposed to be like the Hall of Fame. It's supposed to be the best
of the best.
And
absolutely.
This year, because it's the centennial year of the NFL, they said they were putting in 10. Like regardless of who it was, I guess they're 10. Just like, we're putting in 10.
Like,
and maybe there are 10 guys that deserve it, maybe not, but you can't put a number like that. It should always be, if you deserve to get in, regardless of what gimmick year or something like that. Like you got to put these guys that are deserving in, and stop putting guys that are good in.
Okay,
so longevity too, that pisses me off.
Longevity should play a small part. A small part, not a major part, but a small part. Because if you could do this for so long and do it at a high level, it's got to merit you something. Now, here's the deal. To me, and I think you'll agree with this, if you're going to make the Hall of Fame, you got to be, at the time that you played, you were always the top player, the best at your position for a length of time, a lengthy period of time.
At least top 3.
At least,
because you know what I mean. Like arguably any running back in the Barry Sanders era would not make it there,
no,
right? So, but yeah, that's always been my criteria. I don't care how long you played. I don't care how you were able to accumulate stats over a 17-year career, like Eli Manning kind of thing.
Play long enough.
Were you at any point in your career considered amongst the best at your position? Were you an elite player at some point in your prime?
Yep.
And considered, say, top 3?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Jerome Bettis, good player, very good player. I'm not
statistically he was up there.
Yeah, but like, it was at any point was he like, that's the best running back in the league? No, never. You know what I mean? Like, at no point did that ever come up,
because he was.
I see a lot of Edgerrin James, and we were taking a look, right?
Yep.
2-time NFL rushing champion. 4-time Pro Bowl, and he had 4 seasons of over 1,500 yards.
Offensive Rookie of the Year,
and he was a dual threat kind of thing, right?
Yeah, he could catch out of the backfield.
I mean, I wouldn't put Edgerrin James in the Hall of Fame, but I would put him in the Hall of Fame ahead of guys like Curtis Martin or Jerome Bettis, who were just very good for a long time. I all day will I take Terrell Davis in the Hall of Fame, because Terrell Davis had a 2,000-yard season. He had an 1,800-yard season. He was the focal point of 2 Super Bowl wins.
Absolutely.
He was the best running back, or at least a top 2 running back in the NFL for a short period of time. And not like 1 or 2 years. I mean, like, he had like 5 like really elite years. Give me 5 superstar years over 10 pretty good years. When we're talking
solid years,
and we're talking about value to a team, because I'd rather have the guy for longevity for that purpose, but for the Hall of Fame purposes.
Now, more specifically, a guy like, and I've been saying it, and ever since Deion Sanders came up with, like, man, we're watering this thing down and so on and so forth, I now start to question a guy like Frank Gore getting into the Hall of Fame, because we've been talking about future Hall of Fame. He's what, 3rd on the list all time. It's like, how do you dismiss him from going to the Hall of Fame? But he's just always been a very good running back. You can't put him in the Hall of Fame, can you?
I see someone wrote, so Arian Foster is a Hall of Famer. Well, are you trying to say that at any point you would put Arian Foster on the level of Terrell Davis?
Can't.
No, come on.
Or Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders.
We're not talking about a guy that
Daniel
had like
Tomlinson.
one great year. We're talking about a guy that's like dominated the NFL for 5 years, and was like possibly the best player in the entire league. Arian Foster had a couple good years. There's some other guys there, like what's his name? We were talking about him.
Which one?
Sean Alexander.
Oh, Sean Alexander. Yeah.
Years. Priest Holmes had some good years.
Okay.
Jamal Lewis had some good years.
So,
and there's no longevity there because I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about, were you the best player at your position for like half a decade?
Or did you change the game? That's to me is a big thing. Were you the best at your position, or did you change the game? Man, we have not seen a running back like that before. We've never seen a receiver like this before. Like a Terrell Owens, to me, that's a Hall of Fame type of receiver.
Yeah.
Right? Change the game, big boy, can run, can do all those things. Then it starts making you question the people that they're now allowing in, like a Troy Polamalu. To me, that's a no-brainer to me. Hall of Fame. The guy was, you had to account for him all the time. He's at the line of the scrimmage, or he's back there picking you off, or he's making you think, right? Steve Atwater.
It's a different era.
Different era. It is a different era. But
so
I'm like,
Steve Atwater was back when you were allowed to hit people.
Yeah.
Back when
a menace.
Obviously, offenses were run orientated, and he was dominant in that regard. I think John Lynch made it.
Yeah, John Lynch. Oh, was it a nomination? Did he make it?
I don't know. John Lynch will have, if he didn't make it, he will eventually make it. It's that guy. I watched that guy make a Pro Bowl one year. 0 interceptions, 0 forced fumbles, 0 sacks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna.
I get it. I get it.
I don't like that.
So now,
but
a guy like Eli Manning.
No.
And this is the thing, because then I was gonna say, do Super Bowls matter?
Yeah.
Do you have to win Super Bowls in order for you to at least solidify your case of getting in?
They seem to matter more for a quarterback than any other position, but it counts, but it should be part of the criteria, but it shouldn't be enough to get you in if the rest of it's lacking. Now, Eli Manning's going to be a great example because
tough one.
Because of the rule changes, because of the era he played in.
Yep.
Eli Manning is, if you ever see his stats, he's like top 10 in everything. He's actually I think top 7 or 6 in almost everything, like yards, touchdowns, that sort of thing.
But he's also 500.
And he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But he's 500 for his career.
Absolutely.
And once again, I would never in any year of his career put him up amongst the best quarterbacks in the league.
How can you?
So if you can't be one of the best quarterbacks in the league in any season that you played in, how can you ever be a Hall of Fame player?
It's a tough one, man. And I wonder what these voters.
So hang on, Chris Jenkins still going on. I didn't say top 3 at his position for up to 5 years.
Let Chris Jenkins have it. What is he saying?
No, he's talking about, you guys said top 3 at his position for up to 3 years. That's why I said Arian Foster. I get, and what we're talking about too, it's hard to have this is a set rule in the sand, and that's how it's going to be. My thinking has always been that, like, that's my first criteria, is were you ever a top 3 player? There are other things that factor in, but if the answer is no to that first question, you're eliminated. I'm not saying if the answer is yes, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So in Arian Foster's case, I don't think he was the best running back in the NFL, but I see what you're saying, but that's just question 1. Then question 2 is, like, where does he compare now statistically? Where does he, then you go through, there's like a checklist, because again, this is supposed to be an exclusive elite club for the best of the best. It's not answer one question, you're in. But if you can't get through the door, I'm not listening to the rest of your resume.
So Daniel Guarriz and I think Juan Castillo are chatting it up. And I'm trying to figure out what. So Juan Castillo says longevity at running back in today's game is something. Okay, it's something special. Top 3 all time. Longevity does play a role in whether you're eligible. Some
stats. Like, it's tough for me because I'm a Miami U fan, so I love Frank.
Yeah. So while you look up some stats, I'll kind of take over a little bit. So I think it's like when Dion said what he said, it started to make me reevaluate who they're allowing. Because when you watch a guy like Ladainian Tomlinson, and you put him up with the Barry Sanders and the Thurman Thomases and the Marshall Falks, you're like, okay, that works, right? When I think of Adrian Peterson, to me, Adrian Peterson is a guy that should make Hall of Fame, right? Longevity in the game, like
NFL MVP.
NFL MVP. The guy is just
2,000-yard season,
dude. He's solid. Like there's no question. First ballot to me. First, in my opinion, first ballot. But then you have guys like Edgerrin James, and you're like, interesting, because I'm not poo-pooing on Edgerrin James, but I'm also like, okay, I guess he can make it in. But then how do you compare him to the guys that are in there already? You're like, he's just like at the bottom. I don't know. They all should be here. Yeah. They all should be here. Not, okay, here's the tier of where the Hall of Fame guys are. Yeah. This is the top Hall of Fame guy. This is the lowest guy. Everyone should be
10 years from now.
Yeah.
Or when we talk, we're going to say, do you remember Adrian Peterson? Everyone's going to be like, holy shit.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
If they say, do you remember Edgerrin James? Some of the guys that watch a lot of football are like, oh, yeah, I remember him. He was pretty good.
He was a good back.
Solid. He's not like, oh, Marshall Falk or Ladainian Tomlinson, that sort of thing.
So, absolutely. Like, you want to be able to say, wow, like that player. Like Isaac Bruce making it. Isaac Bruce, I'm like, and is it because I was too young to really start really paying attention? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I wonder if that's the case. So I got to get out of my that stance. But I'm like, nothing wows me. It doesn't wow me. You know what I mean? But statistically, he's there. Mm-hmm. He's up there. Who's that Dallas Cowboy that just can't seem to get in? He was pissed. Drew something. Pearson. He's just upset that he's not getting in there. And other guys with lesser stats are getting in. So it really does make you wonder what the heck is going on. So in terms of the Hall of Fame, it just feels we're with Dion. It just feels like they're letting a lot of very good players get in. But guess what? It's not called the Hall of Very Good. It's called the Hall of Fame, right? The guys that are at the top of the top, the best of the best, and they're all on one level. That's just me. That's what it is. Oh, Ravens fan, big trust. You finally showed up. You finally showed up. I was asking for you when you guys took the L. The Ravens guy. Yeah. You finally showed up. I was waiting for you, man, because I was like, yo, where's Big Trust at? Big Trust. We didn't see you. Hey, how do you feel about the awards today? Let's talk about the awards today that we're giving out, because we talked about a little bit with my friend Mr. Gilmore winning Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. Did I write it down? Yes, I did. Yeah. So MVP.
Lamar Jackson.
MVP Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Well deserved?
Yeah.
No question?
Yeah. Like it's him, or I mean, led the NFL in touchdowns, had a new unique offense, number one seed in the AFC, and it's a regular season award.
Yep. Regular season.
It's him or Russell Wilson in my mind.
Russell had a big, or Ed McCaffrey had a pretty big year.
Yeah, McCaffrey had a big year.
You know what I mean? So it was very interesting. One thing that really stands out to me, I saw something on Twitter, and they showed two still shots of Lamar Jackson. And one of the still shots was him and his mom on draft night. It was just the two of them, because if people don't know, his mom is his manager, doesn't have an agent, and people poo-pooed on him for that. They poo-pooed on him, saying that he should be another position, and they showed him alone with his mom and just kind of waiting to be drafted, right?
No, Christian McCaffrey, buddy.
What did I say?
No, Ed McCaffrey.
Did I say Ed McCaffrey?
I don't know, but he's talking about Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, my bad. If I said Ed, I meant to say Christian McCaffrey. And then the next picture is of him winning the damn MVP.
Yeah.
Like, how many you idiots out there like just want to just crawl into a hole, right? Talking about he should be a receiver, or his percentage is going to be terrible. He's a raw player. He's this, down the third. Yo, he is shitting on each and every one of you guys. And I'm so glad I was an advocate for Josh Allen. I'm thinking Josh Allen because I had them both there, but you know what I'm talking about.
I think Lamar Jackson is very fortunate that he landed where he did. I think he's extremely fortunate that he had a coach that said, listen, we're going to pick this guy.
For sure.
We're going to change our entire offense. They brought in Paul Johnson from Georgia Tech to look at the option runs. They redesigned everything about their offense to tailor, which is as you should. But there's a lot of coaches in the league that would have put Jackson in, just like throw him in their offense that they had.
Yep.
And I don't think he succeeds that well. Like, I don't think he's that player. I think he's the electric player he is this year because it is all predicated off of him running, which is what he does best.
Yep.
And not to take anything away from him, I'm just saying that there's a lot of guys that were critical of him coming out because they weren't able to picture what's happening now, and they were just plopping him into, like, if you plopped him into the Saints, he's not having a good year.
No, I'm with you. And
So,
and furthermore, when you think about a good situation, I think he would have been able to do all those athletic things he does on the field regardless. But having someone to have the patience and to give him the confidence to say, "Yo, throw the ball," because I mean, a lot of people that had confidence in him knew he could whip the ball around. Yes, did he have some accuracy issues? Of course, right? But dude is just a special cat. You don't come around cats like that all day. Now, people are saying, is this going to be sustainable? Because I know you're one of them. Can he sustain running the ball like this?
My thing is, and for other mobile quarterbacks in the AFC East, it's the same criteria. What happens if they pull a hammy?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a thing.
Yep.
When they get older, and like a Cam Newton type thing, when they start to break down, they can't run. They're rough. Like, they're not very good anymore. But at the same time, I don't know. Someone told me I could have an MVP caliber player for 5-6 years. I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. How can you not?
He's probably not going to have the 18-year career that somebody like a Drew Brees has, because his game relies on his athleticism. Now, maybe he gets a bit better as he goes along, but it's rare and almost never happens.
Yeah.
Usually when they can't run, then their career's over. But if you get 7, 8, 9 years out of them, you're laughing.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Kyler Murray.
Well, it was either him or
the running back from Jacobs.
Yeah, it was either him or Jacobs.
Yeah. I actually like the fact that they give it to Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he's really good.
Oh, he's solid, man. And you go to a rookie head coach coming out of college, that air raid offense, this, that, and the third. They get rid of your quarterback now, in Rosen, and put all the chips in on Kyler Murray. And I think that it paid dividends, man. And he's not here to come to the league just to kind of be around. He wants to do big things. And the fact that he was able to come out as a rookie, what is he, like 5'10", if that, and was able to do what he did with those tiny little legs of his, is running all over the place. Yo,
good arm though, man.
Dude, he could whip the ball. Something about these baseball players, man, that could just fling the rock. Like Pat Mahomes can fling the rock anywhere. Kyler Murray gives you the same ability. So him win the Rookie of the Year, kudos to him. Who won the Defensive Rookie of the Year? Was it Nick Bosa? Nick Bosa with the defensive play. I mean, to me, I don't see any. That boy is nice.
Yeah,
he could play. Would you say he's better than his brother? Too hard to say, huh?
Joey is hurt all the time. That's a problem. So,
too hard to say. To say.
Give me another year.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that.
You know that their dad was a first-round draft pick for the Miami Dolphins.
Who?
Joey and Nick Bosa.
Oh shit! No kidding.
Their father was was also a defensive end.
Okay.
And was a first-round draft pick of the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
And their uncle was also a first-round draft pick of the Miami Dolphins.
Yo, it's
and
in the
also
freaking family. What the hell?
What
the hell, man?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's nuts. Here's an award that I'm really interested in. What you want to talk? I want your opinion on this. This player is good, solid player, a big-time contributor, comeback player of the year, Ryan Tannehill. What are your thoughts on that, sir? Comeback player of the year. Almost took his team to the damn Super Bowl. Dude, talk to me on that, man.
Well, how many quarterbacks in the league are going to play well if you put them behind a decent offensive line, a running back that runs for 185 yards a game, and a very good defense? The majority of them.
Yeah.
Like Tannehill was never garbage. He just was never good. Miami was always 7-9, 8-8, 7-9, 8-8.
Average player?
Yeah, like he's
above average.
No, he's not above average. He's like the poster child of mediocrity. Like,
wow.
He's one of those guys that, like, he's the quintessential game manager. If you have a good running game and he can use play action and he can get on the move and he can run a bit and that sort of thing, and you're in the lead or it's a close game, then he plays really well. If you get behind early and he has to be the focal point of the team,
you're done.
He's done.
Really?
Yeah, he has no pocket awareness. He has no, for all of his hype of being mobile, he's not like he's a straight line speed guy, but he can't make anyone miss, especially not in the pocket.
Scott Devereaux says you got those damn Gase glasses on. Tannehill might be good, man.
No, I watched him for 7 years. Like,
he's
not,
no.
Like he's not bad. That's what I'm trying to say. Like he's not trash. He's not bad, but the circumstances have to be right for him to be highly effective. And then I ask, like, there's quite a few quarterbacks that if you put him in that situation would be highly effective. Tannehill was always like Bills fans, they don't like to hear it, but he was always like a premier athlete. He's
a good athlete.
He has a fantastic arm.
Yep.
He has a cannon for an arm. He's exceptionally accurate.
Yep.
He just doesn't have it upstairs. His processing is too slow. He can't go through his progressions quick enough. He can't make anyone miss in the pocket. If you get him off his spot, he's done. And a lot of times, if you get his first read, then he's done.
I think you're being a little harsh on Tannehill. I think you're being a little. I know, but you watched him with the Dolphins with Adam Gase as your coach, and who was one before him?
What's his name? Philbin, Joe Philbin.
Freaking Philbin, for crying out loud! Come on.
No, and trust me, I know. If have you ever looked up his stats? I'm going to piss a lot of people off right now.
He's got some great stats, man.
Josh Allen ever had a year like Tannehill had in, like, I think it's his third year, where he had like 4,400 yards,
dude, he had
27 touchdowns.
Yep.
You guys would be telling me Allen's the league MVP. You know,
I don't know if we go that far.
I'm telling you. If he had 4,400 yards and 27 touchdowns and blah, 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 I'd be hearing how great he is.
Is Tannehill better than Josh Allen?
Like currently or pretend?
Currently right now.
Very equal. I mean, like, they're pretty close.
Now you might make some people mad.
Well,
upset.
Allen's got room to grow. At Tannehill's hit his ceiling. This is the best Tannehill will ever play. Keep in mind, before you get pissed off and start yelling at me, Tannehill led the NFL in quarterback rating this year, and he had a really good year. Check out his stats before you scream at me. But Allen has a higher ceiling, of course, because he's only a second-year player, and he hasn't reached his potential yet.
He definitely hasn't reached his potential yet. Yeah. And he's got so much. I honestly think, not to
hang on one second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daniel Guerres. Sherman was not the head coach when they drafted him. Sherman was the offensive coordinator when they drafted him. He was the offensive coordinator behind Joe Philbin. That's why they made him the offensive coordinator, because he was Tannehill's head coach in college. So Philbin was there. Right. Philbin was there when they drafted Tannehill. And then they went through Sherman. They fired Sherman. They hired Bill Lazor as the OC. And then the two of them got fired, and Gase came in. And then
Gase, you're right. Philbin, because where did he play? He played at some tech school.
Texas Tech.
Yeah. Texas Tech, and that's when
Texas A&M.
A&M, and Philbin was like, "Yo, come on through, because I know this guy," and away we go. But I think I don't think you're giving Tannehill enough credit. I think all he needed was.
They're already screaming. They cannot deal with facts. They're like, no, it's crazy. Like, look up the stats, man.
But Tannehill, you're not giving enough credit, because when he went to, like, think about it. They had, which I really feel bad about, Mariota. I don't know what's going on with Mariota, but Tannehill comes in.
They're still young. Again, I didn't say Allen won't be better than Tannehill.
Who are you talking about?
There's some guys he's like, Allen's going to be better. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Allen will be better. He's only a second-year player.
For sure.
He's not a great quarterback right now. He's improved over this year, but you know what I mean? And he will be better than Tannehill. That's not a question. It's not a shame to say, or a slight to say, that a second-year quarterback is on par with a guy who's been in the league for 8 years, just led the NFL in quarterback rating, and took his team to the AFC Championship game. That's not me shitting on Allen. And again, Allen's potential is higher, and he will be better. But right now, Josh Allen isn't leading the NFL in quarterback rating.
Yeah, I hear you. Rico Hassan. Yo, I'm Rico Hassan. Ali Hassan. Type what you said again, because I'm not understanding what you're trying to do right now. Yo, they're not feeling what you're trying to say. Dan's like, Rico, kick his ass out of here. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. When I bring Kevin on and we talk football, man, he's not gonna put the freaking glasses on and be like, go Dolphins go, or go Bills go. He'll call it like it is and what it is. So speaking of the Dolphins, how do you feel about the Dolphins not securing the tanking for Tua, and they actually put 5 wins together?
Yeah.
Yo, your coach is legit. Like, he's got these guys wanting to play. Kind of like my guy in Buffalo, in Sean McDermott. He's got these guys playing for him. You guys, the future is bright. for the Miami Dolphins, would you say?
Well, you hope. Like it's set up to be bright, right? So they've got all these assets, they got all this money, they got all this stuff.
Yep.
Now can they hit on them? Now,
by the way, Scott Devereaux says, I like this guy. Yo, listen, man.
Thanks, Scott.
Listen,
Dan and Don Beals doesn't like me.
Kevin has some fans. I'll tell you that right now, and that's why he comes back every so often. I'm gonna try to get him on even more. But yo, tell us about your Dolphins. Are you mad?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough, because you're gonna look back 5 years from now, and it's gonna be like with Miami won 5 games when they weren't supposed to win any, right? It was supposed to be the worst team in the league at the beginning of the year. Idiots like Dominic Foxworth were saying the league needs to put an investigation.
I like Dominic Foxworth.
The league needs to investigate the Dolphins. This is crap. They're not trying to win and tanking and blah, 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 blah. And then they were 5-3 in the last 8 games. And they beat teams like Philadelphia, New England, that sort of thing. So at the end of it, it's going to it costs to show Burrows for sure. So,
but you're a Tua guy though.
Well, I vote because
so who cares what
I'm
Burrows?
just saying, but that's how it's going to be looked back.
Right? Okay.
5 years from now, you're going to look at where the Dolphins are versus where Joe Burrows is. Right.
Yeah.
The 5 wins cost us that, but at the same time, it showed that hopefully that our coach is worth keeping. Right. Is that Flores came in. He did a really good job, I thought, with nothing. Like we had no talent. Like everything we had was out the door.
You get rid of Kenyon Drake. You get rid of Larry Tunsil.
We got rid of Kenyon Drake.
Kenny Stills. You get rid of.
Yeah, but keep in mind, like there's reasons behind this, right? Kenyon Drake was a free agent at the end of the year, and he wasn't going to re-sign with Miami. They had contract talks. Right. He wasn't re-signing, so why not trade him at that point? We're not making the playoffs. Get rid of him, pick up an asset.
Yep.
Laramie Tunsil, they wanted to give us 2 first rounds and a second. Like no one, that's a quarterback ransom for a left tackle who at that point hadn't made the Pro Bowl.
How many picks do you guys have?
We have 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. By the time the compensatory picks are done, we'll have 14.
Bro, let me tell you something.
And next year, keep in mind, next year we have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks already.
Yo, see, this is why, as a Bills fan, and to try to live in the now moment, this is why me personally, I'll speak on myself, why I wanted the win versus the Texans so bad and why I took it so hard. Because next year in the AFC East, it's not going to be what it was this year. Because the Dolphins are going to revamp that team and they're going to be competitive as shit.
It's going to take a while though, buddy.
It's not going to take a while. They have 5 wins with nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, cut it out. You know it.
Yeah, no, but you're
not jinxing your team. You're not going to jinx them.
5 wins though, because Fitzpatrick played one of the best seasons he's ever had. Like it won't show it he's had better seasons with stat wise.
Right.
But his ability to avoid rushers in the pocket and to mitigate what was probably the worst offensive line in NFL history, was nothing short of like remarkable. Like it was like crazy. Now he's not gonna, you know what I mean? That's Fitzpatrick. It's 1 year up, 1 year down, 1 year up. So you can't rely on him to do that again. And when they transition to a rookie quarterback, there's obviously going to be growing pains. So Miami's not going to contend for anything next year. They should be better. I mean, they have a lot of guys that got hurt. Xavier Howard was on the IR. Rashad Jones was on the IR. Bobby McCain was on the IR. Preston Williams went on IR. The Dolphins set the NFL record for most players to play in a game. They had like 81 players or something like that. It was the most in the history of the league.
That's insane, man. I don't know how you guys were able to come out and win 5 games. And you won against the freaking Patriots.
Well, we always beat the Patriots. Beat him at home every year.
Like I can't get it. The Fitz magic, y'all owe him a lot. Because you think you're gonna bring Fitzmagic back?
Oh, he's definitely coming back. Yeah.
He has to start.
Well, he's already signed and he said he's coming back. So
shit, man. Because if you guys don't sign him, I'll take him as a backup.
Oh,
but I like Big Quinn Bartley.
Fitzpatrick's the guy that when he's done in Miami, he'll go be a backup somewhere for a year, and then
he'll
end up being a quarterback. And then he'll end up being a quarterback coach, right?
It's true. Or he'll start and take over.
From everything I've seen, he's like really good in the locker room. All the guys love him, that sort of thing.
So for those that are tuning in for the first time, and you guys don't know who we are, this is the Buffalo Fanatics. My name is Rico. This is my guy Kev, the Dolph fan. Y'all know him as AKA Papa Peck. Speaking of Papa Peck, I had my man Kurt Bonaker says, "Hey Kevin, you're solid, but you're missing your undershirt."
Yeah,
Bro, shut them guns off, man. They don't know. They don't know, man.
that's cool. But yeah,
nah, it's cool.
Well, I wore a T-shirt here, but then we had to put the Kobe.
Oh, we had to, man. You had to put the tribute out there, man. You had to put the tribute for my guy.
Yeah.
Jeff King says 3 first-round picks. What's he saying? Though him, I'll throw him out the house. Yeah, we can't throw him out the house, man. Listen, the Dolphins are stacked in terms of picks. So who's your guy picking? Who's your GM?
It's Greer.
Yeah.
He's
Greer. Oh, the black man?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not many black owners, so that's why I was like, oh, the black man? Yeah, I know Greer.
His brother is Mike Greer that played in the NHL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So he's Miami just won the award, won a diversity award. Actually, their owner did.
Yo, I gotta give your owner shout out because he's one of the guys that doesn't give a fuck. Can you do the job, black or white? But he'll give opportunities to minorities.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do like. And I gotta give a shout out to Bruce Arians. Arians is also one that's like, yo, I don't give a damn who you are, female, black, white, doesn't matter. Can you coach? Can you get to my players? Let's make it roll. But the Dolphins next year, what do you predict for? Is it too early to predict?
Oh yeah, because
it's way too early.
Everything Miami did this year was to set up for the offseason, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have the most cap space, especially once they get rid of a couple of bumps that they got. They're going to have a crazy amount of cap space. They're going to have 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. So we're going to see what they do with them. We'll see after that, because right now I like Devontae Parker. I like Preston Williams.
Yeah, you guys got
Mike Gesicki.
You guys got a good little receiving
like
core,
Albert
man.
Wilson. Alan Hearns is the 4th wideout. Like, he's not bad for your number 4. I like that. And then I like, obviously with Xavier Howard and Rashad Jones.
Yep.
Baker, our linebacker, had a really good year. Wilkins and Godchaux were pretty good at defensive tackles. So they have a few pieces, but they don't have a lot of talent. So we'll have to see what happens, right?
Dan Don says, Kev to the IR. Here's a question, though. Some people are wondering, what do you do with Rosen?
I would not.
That's a great question. What do you do with him?
I would be surprised if Rosen is on his 3rd team by next year.
Yo, I feel bad for that guy, man.
NFL teams typically don't keep 3 quarterbacks anymore. If they do, it's like a developmental bum on the practice squad. So
Elijah, hold on, I gotta say this. Elijah, I'm with you, man. He says, fuck, I don't like how bright the Dolphins' future is looking. Me neither, man. The future for the Dolphins is looking bright right now. You go to a state that has no tax, so you're gonna make your bread, and you in South Beach.
That's a big draw for
huge
huge
draw.
Go back to, remember we talked about what those 5 wins cost, and I said it cost Joe Burrows, but at the same time, like, one of the arguments was, well, who wants to go to Miami if they were a shit show?
Yeah,
like the Bengals are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you said it, no state tax, so that gives you an advantage.
Absolutely, man. Your money's yours, man.
If you're a young guy with millions, that's a desirable place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of showed that Flores looks like he's got something to him, that the team's trending in the right direction. If they win 5 games with like the worst roster in the NFL, hopefully they can parlay that into convincing people to come. And it's funny because the Bills were fans I watch. We're looking at the same guys. We both want Yannick Ngakoue.
Yep.
And Joe Thuney. I see a lot of you guys are looking at Joe Thuney, and Miami's desperate for Joe Thuney. So
really, okay.
Yeah. Well, the New England connection, right?
Yeah.
We need a guard, because this draft has a lot of pretty good tackle prospects in it. It's pretty deep at tackle, but it's weak in the interior. A lot of the guys that I liked at the interior, like in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round, they didn't come out. Guys like Creed Humphreys and Trey Smith, and those guys, they stayed in school. So free agent bidding for the guards is going to be big this offseason. And obviously everyone wants Ngakoue. Like, who doesn't want a elite pass rusher who's like 25 years old?
So the state of the AFC East, Dolphins, quite a few picks this year and the next. The Bills are trending. They're ascending. They're a team on the rise with a young quarterback that's only gonna get better or should get better. And we got a nice young nucleus of players at tight end, at the receiver, at the running back position, at linebacker, at defensive line, at cornerback. We're a young team, right? Then you go over to the Jets. The Jets got a promising quarterback. One of the best backs in the game in Le'Veon Bell. One of my favorite backs in the game in Le'Veon Bell. Roby Anderson is free agent. I don't know if he's even coming back. So they've got some things they got to do on that team.
They got some holes.
They got some holes. Now,
offensive line's terrible too.
Then we go to
defense is good.
Defense is solid. Jamal Adams, I mean, as much as I got to talk shit, man, he's a good player, man. I can't even hate. I got to give it to him.
Really good defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Mosley's a good linebacker. They're really hard to run against.
That defense is good. That defense is legit.
No one likes the Jets. Like, we hate the Jets.
No.
All of us.
I don't fuck with the Jets.
All of us like hate New England because they were, but we hate them because they were good. You know, it's kind of like a jealousy thing. But everyone hates the Jets. That's why in Miami and Buffalo, like, we get along in that regard because the Jets are assholes, right?
We don't fuck with him.
And I got Adam Gase.
Fuck the Jets.
And I got Adam Gase coaching him, so I have more reason.
Yeah.
Right?
That guy's a doofus,
but
man.
they did finish. What did they finish? 7-9 or something? After
I don't know.
Starting like 1-5.
They got some wins. They put some wins together. They got to give it to them.
Defense is. I even like the other safety, Marcus May. He's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like they have really good players at some positions, and other positions are like trash. So if they can even get average at some of those positions, they're an 8, 9-7 team. If that happens, if Darnold continues to develop.
Okay, so which then brings me to the last team in the AFC East, the New England Patriots. Now, there's speculation that Tom Brady he sold his house. I think that's factual that he sold his house, and that he could be heading elsewhere. Now, there are some destinations that I think that he'd strive in and thrive in. One of them being the Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas or Vegas, Nevada. What is the team called? Nevada? Oakland?
It's going to be
Las Vegas?
Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders. Okay.
See that stadium, by the way?
That stadium looks good, man. It looks fucking. It looks sweet. I could see him going to the Chargers. I think that'd be a freaking fantastic fit. Rivers leaving. They're not bringing Rivers back.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind too, he's from California. His wife works in California. So
it only makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes sense from that perspective.
Could he go to the Rams? Could they? No, they just paid. They just paid Goff, so that's not gonna happen. Now, does he come back? Is there any scenario that he actually comes back to the Patriots?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more likely he comes back to New England than he goes somewhere else. Even if it's just for a year. Like,
but he's just had issues with. They don't have a running. I mean, I think Sonny Michel's overrated. I thought it was really nice. I don't know what the heck has happened this year to Sonny Michel, but I thought they had a decent. Sanu, you got freaking the rookie from Canada, N'Keal Harry. You got Edelman in the slot, like Philip Dorsett. Like, what was wrong?
He's finished.
It's Tom Brady then.
Yeah, he's done. Like, he's not awful. It's just the difference between Tom Brady of a couple of years ago and now is startling.
I don't want you to be at Max Kellerman because Max Kellerman has been hating on Tom Brady, saying he's on the cliff, he's hanging on.
And he is. I watched him against Miami. Like, even he threw a deep ball, and it was everything he had to get it like 45 yards, and it was like 5 yards to the inside. Like, again, he's not garbage, but he's not Tom Brady.
He's not the Tom Brady that we're used to.
I know they lost. Obviously, you lose a Hall of Fame tight end in Gronkowski.
Yep.
I know there was a lot of injuries to their wide receiver core this year.
Yep.
I know they were without their left tackle for half the year. The center, David Andrews, didn't play a game because he had that. I think it's a heart condition.
Yeah, the chest condition. Yeah, exactly.
And they lost some guys as usual. But I mean, it's New England, right? Like, if you're gonna go somewhere. If you have 1 year left of all the options that are looking for quarterbacks, why would you leave New England? Like, it's the number one defense. You got the number one head coach. They should invest in getting him some weapons this year. I don't know.
And here's the thing. At the end of the day, every year you start off 0-0, and you got to put in the work. You got to do all those things. At the end of the day, man, it's any given Sunday, anything can happen. So it's just one game at a time. Could Tom Brady it'd be just refreshing to get him out of the damn AFC East. It'd be just a new look, new everything, no Tom Brady. Now Belichick, let's see what you got. Who's the backup for Easton?
No, it's Jared Stidham.
Stidham. I said Easton. Stidham. But Stidham is no joke. Apparently he can sling the rock here and there.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not a fan?
No, I wasn't a fan of him coming out of the draft. Like, he's very physically gifted, but he could never put anything together. I didn't like him, but he looked really good in preseason. So I don't know, man. Like, you put him with like the best coach in the league. But if Jared Stidham starts 16 games next year, they're not winning the division. Absolutely not.
Well, first of all, we're winning the division, and there's no question about it. That's just what it is. And would you agree with that?
Well, assuming
Just say yes.
Well, unless you get like if Allen gets hurt for the year or something. You know
So
what I mean?
we win the division.
Assuming you're healthy, yeah.
Perfect. So Kevin is on board that we win the division next year.
Assuming if Brady's
assuming
if Brady's gone, yeah.
Okay. So moving on from the AFC East. So now we tend to get into a lull right now where it's now time for teams to look into free agency and who can they bring into their teams and what holes we have. So looking at the Bills, and you know the Bills quite well. You talk to our guys all the time. You know what it is. Where do you see our glaring holes, and what free agent can you see coming in and making a difference?
Depends where you want to put your money, right? But your two weakest spots in your roster is your edge rusher.
Jeff King says put down the cocktail.
Yeah.
Why did I say Easton? I don't know why I said Easton. Go ahead.
Yeah, edge rusher and obviously a number one wide receiver. And well, Knox better hit the jugs machine all
Dude,
year.
does he ever?
He's got the talent, but he's got to catch the ball. But other than that, those are your two glaring weaknesses, right? I mean, it'd be nice maybe to upgrade Levi Wallace. You need to replace Alexander. Right tackle's kind of is a little iffy right now, but Ford's young, so it's quite possible he develops. Maybe he takes a big step in year two. I don't know, but a dominant wide receiver and edge rusher.
So
because like year one, right? It was, Allen's struggling because he's got big wide receivers who can't separate.
Yep.
So, okay, we got rid of those guys and you went out and you got a bunch of quick guys who can separate. And now it's, he needs a big guy to go get the ball. So it's, maybe get him a bit of both, so you have multiple options. I think he went all big guys that had no speed to all small guys that were
all small guys. Fast. So now we got to get a balance.
Yeah, get a balance.
Yeah, we need a balance. I got a couple questions for you. So we have Lorenzo Alexander that stepped away from the game. He's retired.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Lorenzo Alexander. Solid career. I like the fact that you can go from a defensive tackle, right, to end your career as a linebacker and you're faster. It's unreal. That's the reverse. Like that's something that doesn't necessarily happen.
Yeah.
So
I
shout out
to
to
how he was like one of your best special teamers too.
No doubt about it.
11 and a half sacks one year. And
dude, he had a monster year.
And still out there playing special teams.
Monster year. Yeah. So you got to give him a shout out. Now, we do have a linebacker on our team that we stashed away. Voshan Joseph. So talking to my guy Kevin, talking to my guy Bobby's like, you know what? Voshan's legit. He's nice, but he's more of a depth linebacker, special teamer.
There you go.
Right? Not a guy that can step into the game right away because he's a little smaller framed guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And not going to do it.
He's not going to replace Alexander because Alexander was like a strong side guy that's taking on tight ends. And then you can put him down and rush him and rush the passer with him. None of those are Voshan Joseph's strengths. Voshan Joseph is a weak side linebacker who is, he's got a lot of speed. And if you can keep the blockers off of him, he can pursue and tackle. So it's two different roles. Like he can't step in for Alexander. It's
so
they ask them.
He'd be a depth linebacker, just come in and rotate. Have a rotation.
Well, realistically, if say Milano gets hurt, Joseph could fill in that role. And I'm not saying he'd be as good, but that's a role that is suited to his strengths.
Got it.
Whereas what you ask Alexander to do, that's not what Joseph does.
Okay. So with because I liked Voshan Joseph. We took him in what fifth round, late in the rounds. I'm hoping that he comes in and bulks up a little bit and puts on a weight, because he plays fast and he plays hard, and that's something that we need. We need that nastiness at the linebacker position, but he's no Lorenzo Alexander. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he comes in his second year.
That's why a lot of people are pushing for Caleb Chase on.
I've been hearing that name a lot
because he could probably play that role. He's not a pure edge rusher, he's kind of like an Alexander. He can drop into the hook zones. He can play a bit of a robber role. He can play, he can shed the tight ends. He can play fairly decent in the run game. It's not his strength, but he's multifaceted. He's right now is a little one-dimensional. He's a little, I'm always going to bend around the edge. He needs to work on some moves, especially a counter, and maybe he needs to strengthen up a bit. But he would be a really good replacement for Alexander. I think that's who you should zero in on.
Mike, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I'm just saying, assuming that you keep what's his name, your first rounder there.
From last year? Oh, Ed?
No, your defensive end there.
Oh,
Shaq Lawson. Assuming you keep
Shaq,
Lawson, right?
okay.
Because you need two. If you have two starting caliber defensive ends, you can get a Chase on. He can play that strong side linebacker, and then on passing downs, you can slide Lawson in, put Chase on the edge, and then you could have a Hughes, Chase on, Lawson, and like a Perry. For like in third.
Not here. So Mike Shiaba has a question. He goes, what do you guys think about adding more depth at running back? I love Singletary, but we need someone like Derrick Henry to complement him. So I guess this question becomes, you bring in someone to complement Devin Singletary. What are you going for? Are you going for a power back or a speed back?
Oh, I don't care. You just want someone who's good, right? Well, ideally, there's two schools of thought. You can have that complementary thing where if one guy's fast, you want one guy strong. I don't really like that. I like, if I were you, I'd find someone who's similar to Singletary. So that way, when you're switching them in and out, the playbook remains the same. Derrick Henry's a bit of a different beast because he's so good at running. But like if you took like just a big guy and you sub out him and you put in a big guy who can't catch, right away that keys the defense off to, okay, well, it's going to be a run or a play action because they're not throwing this guy the ball.
Okay.
So if I were you, I'd find someone similar to Singletary. Now, Derrick Henry's different because he's elite, but do you want to pay a running back $13 million? It's tough. And this is a really good draft for running backs.
Yeah.
If you really needed a power running back, go get what's his name, like Zach Moss from Utah. Go get AJ Dillon from Boston College, or there's a ton of them out there. You know what I mean? That won't cost you $13 million a year because you're gonna have to re-sign Poyer. You're gonna have to extend White. You're gonna have to extend Edmonds at some point. I know not yet.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to extend Milano.
Yeah.
You're gonna, there's a lot of these guys. Dawkins must be coming up soon. Was that not his third year? So next year's his fourth year. I think.
Yeah.
So,
on Dawkins. Yeah.
Yeah. So that you got to make a decision on him.
We'll end up extending him for sure. Now here's where I disagree with the running back. This is where I come in on my thoughts because I love the damn position so damn much. We don't have a breakaway guy. I think what we lacked a lot this year was a guy that could take it 60 and you'll never know, right? Devin Singletary is not that guy. He will not take it 60. He'll take it 15, 20, but he'll get caught. There's no way he's breaking it. So instead of going for a power type back, we need a guy that can break away, right? So I like your idea of having someone that's seamless, where if I take him out, I can put him in. He does the same exact thing. They can't just cue in. I'm like, oh, they ain't passing the ball. Or if it's a Yeldon, Yeldon's not a strong runner. He's a threat to freaking catch the ball out of the backfield. I think personally we need a speed back to complement what we have in Devin Singletary, because Devin Singletary runs between tackles no problem, right? He can hit outside, he can catch the football, but at the end of the day, oh, here we go. At the end of the day, we need a speed back to complement. I mean, I don't want to bring this guy up, but I will bring up the 49ers. When you look at the 49ers, you have Matt Breida, you have Mostert, and who's the third back? Tevin Coleman. Yeah. Tevin Coleman, speed back, and he hits the hole hard. Mostert, speed back, hits the hole hard. Breida, I'm not sure what kind of back Breida is. It's just a quick in between tackles, can take the outside, but the name of the game is they got speed in that backfield, and they can break at any point. Yeah. We need a guy like Mostert to come in for Buffalo. So I'm hoping that these guys are having their eyes out there and looking for someone to bring in. I would have loved to have Kenyon Drake with the Bills, but that's not gonna happen because he's gonna want number one money, and as he should. He's a number one back. Do you think he stays with the? Oh, he has to. He has to. They're gonna resign him.
Yeah, I hear that they're higher on him now than David Johnson. So David Johnson will probably be available.
Shout out to the wifey. Wifey right now is sending messages, saying that she's showing love and showing support. And she's a little tipsy tonight, of course. Usually she's right next to us. Right.
Yeah.
But she's out there, so she's always showing love. So what's up to you, my lady? Ryan Berger, I see you, man. What's going on? So I'm gonna just read some of the questions. By the way, the lines are open. If anybody wants to call in, y'all know what it is, man. Nothing's changed. If you are a Bing team member like my guy Jeff King, Ryan Berger in the building,
I got like 10 minutes.
You got 10 minutes? Okay, that's cool, man. Because if you got to dip out, you got to dip out. Jeff King, I see you, man. Jeff King's got some comments. He's there. He's talking about Clowney. Was a college fluke. Ooh, that's a bold statement. He loves Henry and the 1-2 punch. Too much money though. Yeah, Henry, deservedly so, will ask for a lot of money.
I mean,
and he should get
if
it.
you're Tennessee, you can't let him go. Right?
You can't. And he's only 26.
He's your team. So,
Absolutely.
Like Tennessee's going to have to re-sign him. They're going to have to. It's going to be interesting because they got Jack Conklin, they got Ryan Tannehill, they got Jarek Henry, and they have Logan Ryan that are all free agents. They're all really important pieces for them, so they won't be able to keep them all. I'm
going to take my guy Jeff King's calling right now. So
okay,
Jeff King, it's your boy Rico. What is going on, Jeff? Talk to us.
Well, we're going to take a little trip back, brother. You guys are talking about the Hall of Fame there for a little while, if that's all right.
Talk to me. What's your thoughts? What's on your mind right now?
Man. Steve fucking Tasker, man. Where the fuck is Steve Tasker's name in the Hall of Fame for the greatest special teams player ever?
Does Steve Tasker deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for special teams play and special teams ability? Is that a thing? I've always been indifferent about it.
It took a really long time for the Hall of Fame to get a punter in, right? Because there was a prejudice against him.
Ray Guy's the first guy to get in there.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting. And another guy, when he retires, there's going to be another name in there, right? Because Matthew Slater from the Patriots is going to be another guy that all the Patriots fans are going to push for that guy because he's got something like 13 Pro Bowls for special teams.
Holy shit.
Like, so like he's making.
No, I understand. We're talking about game changers here.
Absolutely.
So from the late 1980s, all through the 90s, Steve Tasker was probably on every goddamn Sports Center show you ever seen every Sunday night.
Oh, exactly.
For making a play.
All I'm saying is that if they have another guy, like if you have a couple guys.
No, I respect you, my man. I do. Believe me, I respect what you're saying.
Hopefully they start looking at it more seriously because it's one thing to be a good special teamer for a year or so, but this guy was a special teamer for what did he play, 13 years or something like that?
Yeah, give or take. But and if you're going to let first of all, if you're going to let a punter in, and there's no problem with letting a punter in, then that opens the door for Steve Tasker. So there's got to be a time where, okay, enough is enough. Put the man in. And have another Buffalo Bill in there. No, I'm with you.
This guy was the man. He was the man.
I'm with you on that.
That's my only point.
And special teams guys are going to start. I mean, Devin Hester is a future Hall of Famer. So when the special teams start opening,
without a doubt, my last note, gentlemen.
What you mean? Oh,
well, that's gonna be another one. That's another dude.
My last note is you were talking about Tannehill.
Yeah.
Here's my only problem with the Dolphins organization. You had goddamn Dan Marino for all them years. Yeah. All them years. Don't get me wrong, I love Dan. Dan's a man. Okay? They never put anything around him besides two wide receivers. No defense, no running back.
Agreed.
So I blame Tannehill's demise on freaking the Dolphins organization.
So you're saying that Tannehill is actually a good player, solid player.
He's no Dan Marino, but let's face it, man. When you put a team around him, let's face, look what he's doing.
No, it's the same thing.
That's just facts.
It's the same thing in 2016. Miami went to the playoffs that year, and Tannehill looked pretty good, and that's because that was the year Jay Ajayi went off. So when their defense is playing well, they have a really good running game attack, then he's effective. Agreed. Yep. So and that's where I see him.
But isn't any quarterback effective with a damn good defense and a running back? If you take those things away, you're not gonna have success. So surround any quarterback.
That team on his ass his whole entire career.
Yeah.
Did he not have a run game?
Never
had a damn good run game.
No run game whatsoever.
Shout out to Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, let me tell you something. Dan Marino is the only quarterback in history to carry a team for 13 goddamn years on his back.
You're gonna make
Mark Duper and Mark Clayton.
You're gonna make Kevin cry.
Yeah, I was.
He's a man. I love Dan Marino. Let me tell you something. When your rival comes to visit Jim Kelly in the hospital, that's a man's man.
No doubt.
Okay, that's your rival throughout the years.
No question. Jeff King,
Guys, I love you. God bless you. All the best to you.
You got it, man. Thanks for coming. Thanks for calling, man. Yes, sir. That's our guy, Jeff King. Big time Big team supporter. I love it. Kurt Barnaker says, I love Oscar, but he's on a special teams because he couldn't win a damn receiver job. Ouch. That's harsh. Jeez, Kurt. Take it easy, man. But you know what? You could flip it and say, okay, he may not he may not have been good enough to make a niche for himself on the receiver squad, but he certainly carved himself a niche on special teams. And if you're gonna do something, be the best at it. And he was the best at what he did. So you got to give him a shout out for that. So I mean, the fact that they opened up the damn door for punters now, and Steve Tasker is just, it may take a few more years, but he's on there. Let me get this phone call real quick. Let's see who's calling in. This is the Buffalo Fanatics. This is Rico, my man Kev. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey man, it's your favorite cynical Bills fans, Max from Dayton, Ohio. What's up,
Max? What's happening, man? What's on your mind today, man?
Yeah, bro.
Can you hear everything?
Man. Yeah. Can I just say this?
Say it.
Kevin, you are by far the best person that you've ever had on the show. All right,
Pierre, look at that. Listen, if I had the clap,
full of shit most of the time. Pierre's full of shit most of the time, but no, Kevin, my guy right there. I love the way he thinks. He's knowledgeable as hell.
Absolutely.
And my man's swole in the Kobe jersey. You know how it is.
Yes, sir.
But I had a couple questions for you because you guys were talking about a decent bit of topics. First thing, you guys were talking about Hall of Fame, who's in, who's out.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree with, it's kind of a slippery slope because you got guys like Jason Witten, who's like second all time in catches or something like that.
Yes.
But he was never, ever, ever even a top 5 tight end. And so it's rough, because I don't think Jason Witten's Hall of Fame material. But that-wise, he's absolutely
neither do I. And I'll tell you something about Jason Witten. I can't stand Jason Witten. He's one of the NFL players I cannot stand. Go on.
He's going to get in, though.
It's
Cowboys,
disgusting.
Right? Cowboys.
He hasn't won shit. Fuck Jason Witten.
He's a Cowboy. Cowboys and Patriots. They're going to roll.
Leave, man. Max, was it you were going to say something else, though?
Yeah. Well, and then there's other guys. Frank Gore, was he ever really a top 5 running back in the league? Maybe once in the mid 2000s, but otherwise, no.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a tough one. It's a tough conversation to have.
Tough,
Absolutely, because Frank Gore.
Though, what Shannon Sharp said, did they change the game, or can you tell the story of the NFL without them? And I don't think you can without Eli Manning, because this man took down Tom Brady.
Yeah,
he took down the undefeated team.
Yeah,
he beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. So, and also, I know he's top 10 in stats or whatever, but that's kind of irrelevant because it's just as the game's changing, people are just going to start blowing these, Marinos and these, old time quarterbacks.
Totally,
they're not even going to be able to hold up at all. But still,
I totally get it. I totally get it because
I think Eli's a Hall of Famer. Although you're absolutely right with what you guys talking about earlier. He's never, ever, ever even. I don't know if he's ever even been top 10 quarterback.
Dude, and here's the crazy. There's a stat on Eli. I think twice in his career he's I think he's led the league in interceptions. Like, how does that make it into the damn Hall of Fame? But I mean, shoot, you got 2 Super Bowls. You took down Tom Brady. It's one of those tough ones, man.
My question would be then, does Phillip Rivers get in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Because Phillip Rivers, I don't think Phillip Rivers should be in the Hall of Fame, but I think he's a better quarterback than Eli Manning.
He's better than Eli. But
so are we putting Eli in because he's
Tom Brady? He had his chance against Tom Brady in the 2007 playoffs.
No, absolutely.
You're putting Eli in over Rivers simply because he's got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You have to.
He performed on the private stage.
I agree. I just don't think
because that's what it comes down to. Like, where you affected your team enough to win chips. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about: winning championships. If you're winning championships, then you have the right to at least have your name mentioned. If you got the longevity in the game. Max Kamani.
All right.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Before I get out of here.
Yo, what's that?
Before I get out of here, can I get a bing, bing, bing for my man Zippy, Zach, and Dara?
Zippy, Jack, and Dara. Did I say that right?
Zippy Jack.
Yeah.
Zippy, Jack, and Dara. Bing, biggity, bing for Zippy, Jack, and Dara. That is for you guys. Let me give it just for you, my G. There it is, man.
I love it.
All right, man. Have a good night, my G.
You're my favorite.
Yes, sir.
You're my favorite Bills guy, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. You know I do. I appreciate every one of you guys.
Mitchell, but he's too much of a homer.
Oh, I like Dan Mitchell, man. Dan Mitchell's my guy. But yo, I appreciate the love, Max. You're my guy.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right, have a good night. Yes, sir.
Bing, bing, bing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show because my man Kev's got to get out of here. He's got a little hot date. So he's got to get ready to get out there. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. The Super Bowl, like you guys noticed, I took a little small break. Kind of, warm things up, let things get kind of marinate a little bit. And then once, Super Bowl is over and done with, we turn that shit up because that's where the content really counts, right? In the off season. So it's super easy to do during the games and stuff like that, but this is where stuff really starts to pop in. So keep tuning into the Twitter, to the Facebook page, to the Instagram. Our podcast network is booming. We got the Bills guys. We got Adam Nanini. We got Z-Bot. We added Joe on the Overreaction podcast. We got the Buffalo guy. Listen, man, we got a whole slew of guys talking Bills football. Tune in to our podcast. And check this out, man. My man Kevin, you wanna sign off, or you want to tell people where they can find you, or what?
Real quick, who's your Super Bowl pick?
49ers, man. 49ers taking it by the edge. I don't think it's gonna go over 30 points. I don't think anybody's going over 30 points. So I'm gonna go 27-24 Niners. What you got?
I guess. It's rough.
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
It's too tough.
Either the 49ers win 24-21 or the Chiefs will win 38-28.
30-20. Oh,
but you know what I mean? Like the Chiefs win is a high scoring. Anyways, I guess I got to pick one.
You got to pick one.
I'll go 27. No, that's what you did.
27-24 49ers.
So 24-21 49ers.
Yeah, so it's gonna, and the line hasn't moved all week.
No, it's basically a pick 'em.
Dude, man, it's a tough one. And the only reason I'm going with the Niners is if that defensive front and that defensive coordinator in Saleh can really bother Mahomes and get him off his rhythm, all that speed is for nothing because that defensive front is going to get after them. Now, if Mahomes gets hot and he's cooking, it's game over, man. It's game over. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. This is my man, Kevin. We're going to try to do this more often, especially because now I can do this from home and he can be home, and we're going to try to do this up. And we'll go from there. So enjoy the Super Bowl. And we will see you guys sometime this week and next week. And then we'll go from there, man. So until next time, it's your boys. Oh, you like that?
And I'm gone.
And we're gone. You guys have a good night. Let's go. All right, Kev. I appreciate that, man.